Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Third Action. I am your lovely game master for the evening, the ever so kind GM Jason, and these are the same three uninvited house guests from last time. In the bottom left, we have Charlotte playing Asher Ford, Human Ranger.
Supposed to do a goose. This is my goose. No one can see if they are on the podcast, but I'm doing a goose with my hands. And now it's eating the floor.
Well, in the bottom middle, not a goose, certainly, we have Will playing Greshy Ironroot, Dwarven Druid.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Third Action.
In the bottom right, everyone's just trolling me today. In the bottom right, we have Gunn, Shough, played by Adam. Also, it's Human Champion of Rastal. I did that in entirely the wrong order. Enjoy.
Hey.
May have thrown you off a bit there. Can't imagine how that would have happened.
I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right in, shall we? So, last time on Third Action, our intrepid adventurers investigated the Foxglove townhouse, where they were met unexpectedly with a living Aldern Foxglove and his living wife, Aisha. Of course, turns out they were not real at all and were in fact faceless stalkers placed there to waylay our heroes, presumably. Or at least they'd been stalking the place out. After a bit of fake... I guess a fake luncheon. The two faceless stalkers were put to rest in a little shed, and the party explored the rest of the manor undisturbed. You, on the third floor, you found a sweet new hoodie for Asher, as well as a cool lion mantle where you used your bronze lion key that you had taken off of Aldern's possession, and found a hidden stash of money, a shitload of platinum, and some ledgers and a deed for the Foxglove Manor. As part of that, it seemed like, as stated on the deed, collateral on the house, as well as like part of the manor itself, is in the form of the Seven Sawmill, a sawmill in the southern part of the city that seems to be owned by the Brothers of the Seven, the mysterious and shady group that seems to be behind not only Aldern Foxglove's actions, but perhaps Vorel Foxglove, his grandfather. Our heroes, curious about what this all means, decided to do a bit of investigation. They took the long route around town, found an informant in the dockside area, who gave you a little bit more information on the Brothers of the Seven, who seemed to be a kind of secret gentleman society formed by 7 great merchant houses in Magnamar. But it seems like they try to keep their identities very secret, and seem to be very dangerous to get mixed up in. I believe after that you've stepped outside, and I think that's where we are. So we're kind of in the late evening now. I believe I said it was around 6 or 7 p.m. by this point. So Gunn and Asher have gone off to get food, and returned to find Greshy, who had been just watching the informant's place to make sure that she wasn't going to like immediately dart off and go tell somebody. So,
yeah, I was a little concerned about that. But not like too concerned. I mean, obviously, if she's smart, she wouldn't do it right away. But I think we'll be all right.
I agree.
Yeah,
she doesn't know where we're staying. They already know that we are after them, specifically because they like the faceless stalkers knew who we were. So when we approach, if we approach the 7 sawmill, we're either walking into a trap or, excuse me, I'm not sure.
Walking
What
into
else
a
you would say about it?
party.
Might be both. They might be expecting us and super excited to see us,
Yeah.
but probably not.
Maybe they're throwing a birthday party for someone.
If they don't actively have a trap already prepared for us, then they will still, I'm sure, be able to rally a lot of folks in short order. That's what I was going to say.
It's fair. When are your birthdays?
A mystery. Ooh. Will we ever find out?
I don't know if the players have told me their characters' birthdays yet. We should figure
it
that
occurs
out.
to me. I don't think we've discussed them.
It never occurred to me to give Asher a birthday.
Today, actually. Funny you should ask.
Oh, happy birthday.
Gunn, why didn't you tell us before? We could go find some fun.
I didn't actually say that, though. Like,
Oh.
in character.
Okay.
You don't want it to be today? It could be today. We could just make it today.
Cake. Party episode.
Well,
The paladin
it
lies
actually
about his
occurs to
birthday
me-
and immediately gets disbarred or whatever.
Yeah.
you are no longer a paladin
Like,
because we've
sure.
had too much party.
Trying to get
Terrible.
a free, like, dessert or something at the restaurant.
Well, it occurs to me if we were going to wait till Thursday, we've got a few days of time to... I don't even know what you'd want to do in Magmar. I didn't spend much time having fun here, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I don't.
A little bit of time, but I don't know if we want to do that either.
What was Thursday? Thursday was the day they have their meeting or their. Or,
Believe so.
No, that was. Yeah, we found out that was the day that Aldern would give a bunch of money to them to pay for his wife's trip.
Her
I-
retreat.
I could be mistaken, but I thought we had confirmed that was also when they were doing their secret nightly meetings at the 7 Sawmill.
We didn't have any separate confirmation of that. That was just
That's true.
what was written.
So the two things that you have are that they meet at night, and that Aldern had been delivering these payments specifically on Thursdays, but those are not necessarily related.
Could be.
Right.
And today,
So-
for our listeners, is Sunday, Almashan the 20th? Yes.
So, one option we could just start with would be to surveil the place at night. And by we, I mean you guys.
I will surveil.
You don't think you want to be with us there, or you just don't
I
think
mean,
you'd be very good at it?
I don't think I'd be very good at it. I could try staying out of sight, but I'd be better as backup.
You can hang out a ways away, and I'll just scream really loud, and then you can come running.
Listen for the signal. The signal is ah.
Ah!
Signal is dramatic screaming. Ugh. Do you think that the stalkers checked in every night, or do you think that you know,
We could wait for someone to come around the house. Also,
it's possible. It occurs to me that if the Brothers of the Seven are going to be very influential folk throughout Magnamar, they're going to be busy most of the time, right? They're not going to be waiting for secret messages all the time. They're not going to be checking up on things. They're going to assume that their organization is doing what it's supposed to.
yeah, but they have henchmen, and
Right, and their henchmen are going to do what henchmen do. So keep an eye on the house seems like a good idea to see if somebody comes and checks up on them. But
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they were even aware right away that the stalkers are gone. It might take a couple days.
Mhm.
If you want, we could kip out in the house itself and keep watch there.
What if we had you two sit in the house and pretend to be the faceless stalkers?
I don't think that's going to fly
It's me,
because
the
neither of
faceless
us are going to
stalker.
look anything like Aisha
No,
and Alder.
Oh,
They
we
could
can
change-
try.
You can pretend that to have changed into yourself.
I also don't think that they're going to think that that a regular faceless stalker looks like a dwarf? Probably.
What am I gonna do when they're like, oh,
thought
then
you were
change
human.
back? I'll be like, oops, I can't.
Well, that's when we kill them.
I'm stuck.
Well, why don't... Is there something you need to do tonight, Gunn?
No.
Well, why don't we all
No.
just skip out there? There's beds.
Yeah, that works.
And even if there aren't beds, we've all got sleep-in arrangements that we can make. We can just skip out on the floor
Yeah,
downstairs.
stay there, but keep a watch.
Aye.
I like it.
It's just as well as sleeping in an inn, and
Mhm.
if they come around, we know they're coming to check on us, and then we can silence them, or capture them ideally, and then find out what they know, and then shove them
Right.
in a closet someplace.
Gotta sleep somewhere, so might as well be there.
I just don't think it's a great idea for us to be breaking down the front door of this sawmill tonight.
Oh, sure. No, I agree. Right. It's actually a sawmill, not a bar. I keep
Yeah.
convincing myself.
If you want to bring beer to the sawmill, we can arrange that.
Can
I
become a
highly doubt
bar.
it's necessary. And
I
I
keep-
also...
Convincing myself it's a villain bar.
I like the idea of a villain bar. I like the idea that they
Only
just...
villains hang
They're
out.
specifically a bar that if you're a villain, it's like from Tangled. You go to that's one... Not Tangled. Was it Tangled? No, it was one of the Shrek movies. Where you go there and it's all the villains who are arranged. You've got Captain Hook playing on the piano with his hook.
Right.
Well,
Okay, so what are you guys doing?
we're having fun. Is there a problem, Jason? I
That's
think
fine.
we're gonna
Yeah,
head
you
to
guys
the
keep having
house
fun.
and camp out there for the night.
The townhouse?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay.
Were we gonna
The
try and
Foxglove
sneak
Townhouse.
at any point?
Did you
It
want us
doesn't have to be tonight. Well, we can look at it from afar. And the
Doing-
sneaky people could. I
Doing
mean, not
two
like
things
trying
at
to get in.
once, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can do it different days.
So the question of how many days we spend at the townhouse versus surveilling the mill is kind of open. Maybe we could pay some urchins to surveil the mill or the townhouse. And
You
then
gotta be careful
go.
with paying merchants or urchins.
yeah.
Not that they're all untrustworthy, but depending on who you find, if they know that you're surveilling somebody and you pay them, they're gonna go find the people that you're paying them to surveil and tell them and get paid more.
Fair enough. So it'd
Not
be
that I
better-
hold it against them, just they're trying to look out for their own interests.
It'd probably be better to have that on the manor house than on the.
Aye, that might be fair. Have them keep an eye on things.
So if we decide to take a turn surveilling the sawmill and nothing has yet happened at the manor house, we could find someone to keep an eye on the manor house for us for that one night. Or we could just set up some kind of system to indicate whether somebody else has come through. That might be better.
If only I still had my snares. What a
The old-
twist!
What's a twist? It's so
What a
twisty.
twist!
What a fool.
Well, I mean,
We
a
can
snare-
Trained out of
Can.
snare usage.
A snare would be too obvious. Do the old hair over the door trick,
Yeah.
right? You
That
stick
what is
one
that?
hair,
But a snare.
but
I mean,
The hair
it's a secret
snare.
snare.
a regular snare can also be a secret snare. Ideally,
think-
that's the point,
I think
right?
there was one snare that you could set up the terrain to like be positive someone stepped in it. Like you put a little flower on the floor or something like that.
Yeah, exactly like that.
But I feel like you could just do that normally. Like, ooh, a little flower on the floor. I just think it's more hidden.
hmm
It's a snare.
So, I will have a question for the GM then. Can I do some search around to see if Fen is in town at all? An old friend of mine.
Sure. Yeah, you could go take an hour to do that. Are you guys just all So currently you're just all standing around outside the informant's shop.
Mhm.
Are you all?
Or the market nearby.
Yeah.
What
like,
time is
you're
it?
near there. Around 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. Well, we can.
The two of us can head over to the manor house while you go do that, Greshy.
Sure, that's fine. I'm just gonna see if she's in town. If she's not, then so be it. But she's at least someone I reasonably trust.
Okay, so Gunn and Asher return to the Foxglove townhouse in the
Set up
northeastern
traps.
part
We
of
should be
town.
able to make our way in there through the back, right? In case
Yes, as
anyone
long
is,
as
like,
you have the
counter-surveilling
key.
us.
So presumably Greshy gives you the key to the building, and you
Oh, I.
Yeah.
make your way over there. And
You can get in that way.
yeah, you're able to. You could go through the front door, but you can also just go into the little alley beside it, around the back, unlock the back gate, and walk inside.
Let's do that, and let's see if there's anybody. Like, maybe this would be more of an Asher's skill set thing to look for anybody who might be watching the house, counter surveilling us, right?
For like signs of life, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Let me think.
Being cautious.
Yeah, no. Give me perception checks, I guess. The two of you and Greshy, who is investigating, trying to find information about Fen. Give me a diplomacy check to gather information.
Oh boy, this is gonna go splendid. That's a 6 total.
Okay. So Greshy, you spend the better part of about 2 hours asking around in the usual places about Fen. There's plenty of halflings in the city. Nobody's really seen her lately. It seems like she's either she doesn't want to be seen, or like nobody's really sure where she went. She disappeared maybe about like a year ago, and nobody's really heard from her since then. So yeah, that was your 6 on diplomacy, and the other two got 27 for Gunn and 28 for Asher on searching the house. You searched the house to just make sure nothing got moved, nothing was touched.
Searching
Everything
around the house. I'm like looking out the windows, seeing where you can see, where you could watch the house from.
well,
seeing if there's anybody on those spots.
You can't see anybody from the windows because all the windows are boarded up.
Right.
As far
Well, we have
as
the backyard, right?
oh yeah, there's a couple of houses nearby that could see into the backyard should they choose.
And are all the windows boarded up on all 3 floors?
Yes, all of the windows on all the floors of the townhouse are currently boarded up.
Okay. Well then.
But yeah,
just
otherwise there doesn't appear to be
Yeah.
any signs of change or ingress or anything in the house. Looks
Nobody
just like you
seems
left
to be
it.
watching
No.
where they would see people coming in the front door or the back door.
No, give me another perception check just to kind of sense people's motives that you might see on the street.
Sure. I have 15.
Okay. You might see somebody in a in their kitchen doing some cooking. You see somebody else walking down an alley. Nobody seems particularly mindful of this building. They're just kind of going about their daily business.
Okay. Cool.
People seem to be generally wrapping up for the day and heading home.
Sounds good.
Okay. Greshy, so yeah, about 2 hours or hour and a half has passed, so it's about 8:30. Do you want to keep looking for Fen, or what would you like to do?
You know, I'll sort of make my way toward the townhouse, but I think I'm gonna still just I don't know many other people on the street that I'd want to trust. It's also been a while since I've been here, so most of them would be new to me anyway. So just gonna see if she was around a year ago, she might still be around.
Okay.
Possibly.
Sure. Go ahead and give me another diplomacy check.
How much worse could it be? Well, it wasn't worse, but it's still only an 8.
Could you do better with just going to some of the places that you think she might be?
Well, that's why I was originally starting out in the docks. Either there or Underbridge were the 2 places we would have been.
Like specific places using lore instead of
No, in this
city
case,
knowledge?
I'm already accounting for that he has Magnum
Okay.
lore.
Mhm.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm saying is it would probably take longer, but if instead of asking people where she might be, you just like know, oh, she used to go to this bar and hang out under this specific.
Yeah, I mean that's
Oh,
literally what he's already doing. He's going to those
Okay.
places and asking if anybody has seen her around.
I see. All right.
In all of her usual stomping spots. So the first hour and a half you kind of check the places that you guys usually used to meet up. Then you spend the next hour and a half checking some of the more obscure spots, like places you're pretty sure you remember seeing her at one time or another. And checking in with some of her old contacts, and yeah, she either doesn't want to be found
nothing.
or you just can't find her right now. Yeah.
All right, then I'll head over to the townhouse, and she might have made her way out of the city, find someplace else. Don't blame her. Better places to go.
Yes, it's like where in the world is Carmen San Diego, except for old NPC characters from backstories. Okay, so you guys all regroup there at the house. Well, I guess Greshy is outside. You don't currently have a key.
I'll just knock
The doors?
very
Ooh.
blatantly.
Hello?
Good to see you. Come on in.
Greshy.
Oh, how kind of you to let me into somebody else's house.
Welcome to our home.
Okay, you all very suspiciously let Greshy into the building. And close and lock the door behind you.
Well, now that Greshy's here, I can rig up very stupid flour traps. I don't know if there's flour in the kitchen. Is there flour in the kitchen?
Ooh,
Oh,
in
you
the
mean
kitchen?
FLOUR flour.
Yeah, flour.
We'll do a flat check. Yes, there is flour in the kitchen.
There's flour in the kitchen. Good news, everyone.
It's a pretty old bag, and it's just kind of like a quarter of a bag of flour, but there is some flour.
Okay.
We can put a little in front of the doors. We don't.
So are we home alone now? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, we're home alone. We're gonna
Alright.
get some flour.
That's what we're
gonna
doing.
Rig up a shoe to fall down on someone when they go up the stairs. It's gonna be great.
See if we can get some paint someplace.
We already got 2 false walls.
Yeah.
We should like put those back up, maybe.
We should
Okay,
put
what's
them on
your?
the bottoms of the stairwell.
What are you trying to do, and what is your crafting modifier?
Well, I'm just trying to pour flour in front of the doors so that we can walk around it. But if someone was walking in, they would and not see it, they'd tread in it.
I see. Okay, yeah, you can just do that. You just pour out a bag of flour in front of the door.
Both
Little
doors.
bit. Just a little bit.
Front, yeah.
Oh, the front door and
back.
the.
I
But
have-
we should.
There's
do
3
that-
doors. There's 3
we
doors in
should
the
do
building.
that- We should do that when we leave, though, not when
Yeah, when we
we
leave.
inside.
Or maybe if we slept. Oh, I guess we would do rotations. But yeah, before we leave, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna like do a smear.
But tonight we're not leaving, right? We're just gonna camp here. Hey,
Yeah.
Greshy, do you have the bag of holding on you?
Always. It's my backpack now.
Ah, so that's
So-
probably got all our camping stuff in it. And like
It's got a lot of stuff in it.
my shield and
It's got
anything
your
else we
shield.
wouldn't probably leave in the inn.
Anything I didn't want to leave. I mean, I just always like to carry my stuff on me. So
Yeah.
Okay, so Asher, you're putting flour here at the northern doors, here at the southern door.
Yeah, and is there's a third door, isn't there?
There's a
Probably
third
about the
third
only-
door.
Yeah, it's in the. I'll do it in the third door.
Probably
in
about the only
sun
thing we
room.
don't have with us is the horses.
Yes,
Yeah.
the horses. Your horses are currently at the
Stabled
Salty
at
Sea
the
Witch
Salty
stable.
Sea
Yeah.
Witch,
so we did leave something behind, of course, but we'll go back for them.
Okay, you put some
should have
flour
everything
in
else.
the sunroom.
We did it, everyone.
Well done.
We did
All right.
this.
What do you guys
We are
doing now?
now
Juvenile
Kevin.
trap.
We are now Kevin, and we will protect ourselves from the wet bandits.
I have a can of
Well-
paint. I'm gonna throw it. It's gonna be good.
Let's say we go. Should we camp downstairs or should we camp upstairs and put the false wall back up?
think downstairs would be better. On the downside, we're a bit more exposed that way. On the upside, if we're upstairs, they could just walk right through, find the bodies, know that what's happened.
That's probably true. In fact, they could still find the bodies without coming inside because the bodies are in the shed.
Well, we've already set up the traps and such. Do we want to go and drag bodies through the flower that we've now set out?
No.
Oh, I was thinking of bringing them inside, but then I realized we're gonna then have drag marks of flour.
I think they would at least like come in the house first. I don't know. Ooh. I don't know who would go directly to the shed and think, I will check the shed before I check the house.
You're right. I would like to think they'd come upstairs first, but I don't know the mind of a criminal. I am a right upstanding citizen.
Maybe they'll just walk in and be like, hey guys, I'm here. Come downstairs.
I think they're gonna walk in the door and go, what the hell's all this flour doing to here?
Why is the floors covered in flour?
Let's put the
Are these drugs? Can we have some?
Let's put the second floor false wall back in place.
Okay.
Can we pry one of the
downstairs?
Can we pry one of the we can, so whoever's on watch could keep watch downstairs and then kind of wake everyone else up. Can we pry one of the bards off one of the windows upstairs and keep a better eye out that way?
Sure, if you want.
That's a decent idea. Or if not, pry it totally off, just open it up a little bit.
Aye, just to give us a better vantage point, or some vantage point, as it were.
Well, the boards are actually on the outside of the windows, so...
Even on the second and third floors?
Yeah, somebody used a ladder.
That's absurd. Why would anybody use a ladder in this world? That's fair. All right.
Yeah, they're all boarded up from the outside.
Yeah, because otherwise someone can break the glass still, you know.
The glass is already broken.
Is it?
It's fine. Well, I imagine if the boards are still there, they didn't replace the glass.
Was the glass actually broken?
No, the glass isn't broken.
Jason?
No, the glass is still there.
Yeah, I was like, I think they were telling a horrible lie.
Nobody looked at the glass to determine.
Yeah, I just realized as they were talking, I'm like, I don't think it was actually broken.
Windows are all broken.
They were just lying the whole time.
Look over there and be like, that window?
That window with the glass still intact is broken?
Because I think they were like, they broke all the
Curious.
windows, and I should have just been like, there's no broken windows in the set.
This is suspicious. There's no broken glass at all. All right, so we'll set up upstairs. Whoever's on watch will be downstairs. Just keep an eye out on things. And if something comes up, we'll wake everyone up upstairs, make a ruckus, and just try not to sleep too deeply. Aye?
Sounds good.
I guess. Then in that case, don't put the false wall back.
You can kick
I
it
agree.
down on your way down.
You could. It's probably not
It'll
too hard
slow
to
you
break
down,
down.
though.
Scare the crap out of whoever's downstairs.
It'll slow you
That's-
down and ruin your element of surprise.
I don't think
Battle.
there's going to be much element of surprise if I'm trying to come wake you guys up.
All right. Well, that seems like the plan.
All right, I'll take. I'll
Yes,
take
just
first
listen
watch.
for this signal. Literal screaming.
Well, that signal is reserved for the sawmill. We'll have to have a different signal for
Yeah,
here.
I'll be screaming. I'll be like, Gunn, you're stronger than me.
Okay,
Signal
so
from here is cacaw.
you guys set up this this guard rotation plan, and where are you sleeping downstairs?
I think they're sleeping upstairs. I'm gonna take first watch,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and I will be
Okay, so
downstairs. And I'll.
Some
just
people are
be hanging out.
sleeping upstairs. You're staying downstairs to keep watch. Got it.
Let's
I
have a
mean,
look.
Phelan will be on the stairs itself, just sitting there.
Probably this room is pretty good.
Yeah, you think so?
It doesn't have any windows.
Well, that's
but
why I was gonna sit on the stairs. It'd be easier for
Yeah.
me to get up and come right up and say, "Hey,
up to
get
you.
your asses down here."
All right. So, you all go to sleep for the night, taking your various shifts. We'll put this here.
Mysterious rolls.
Okay. The night passes. You all take your shifts, and eventually you are all up and ready to go the next day. Today is what's Monday in Pathfinder? Moon Day? I bet it's Moon Day.
That sounds right.
Moon Day, Lamachan, the 21st. Types across the screen.
Greshy heals a little bit, which is nice.
You should all, yes, gain what level times
Con times
HP?
level.
Yes.
I think I gained double.
You do,
I had-
but you had
I
no
had
hit points
another-
to you.
I had another focus point to give you before we went to bed. Then because then I'm going to recharge today.
Oh, sure. If you wanted
Sure,
to give me a bit
go
of
ahead.
healing, I wouldn't have
That's
been
an
against
extra.
it.
That's an extra 18.
No, pretty close to full. I'm not too worried about being completely full.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So you all wake up in the morning, ready for a brand new shiny day. Nothing seems to have changed inside the townhouse. It seems to be a bit of a quiet spot. Nobody's disturbed anything. What do you want to do?
Well, that's good news.
Do you want to still have somebody watch the townhouse, or did you want to have somebody watch the sawmill?
I think that the flower trap, as long as it's fairly subtle, combined with our other investigative abilities, will be able to let us know if somebody comes through.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's
There's
fine.
not much for them to take anyway. There's only information.
We've all got
gather.
survival.
This is true. We can all see the tracks. Gunn, you're better at talking to people than I am. I was looking for an old friend of mine. I was going to have her watch the house, but since that doesn't seem to be need, we could have her watch the sawmill, or we could just not and watch it ourselves. It's kind of up to you.
Sure, I'll help you look.
Not sure if she's even still in town. We could be looking for nothing. She might have left.
Maybe we can find someone who knows
It's up to you.
where she went.
I also really want to make Jason do a halfling voice, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure, we can. Maybe Asher could do some surveilling. Scout the place, but don't get too close. Don't get seen doing so.
Oh yes, I'm probably pretty okay at that.
While we go around looking for your friend.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. You're all right with that?
All right, so Asher then is going to go. So Gunn and Greshy are going to go about town for a while to. Whoops, that's the townhouse. Let me move back to the map.
Back here around mid-afternoon,
Aye, that sounds good.
or back at the inn.
You know, actually, that sounds better. That's a better idea. We'll meet back at the inn. Just check on this before we go anywhere else. After that.
Okay, and Asher is going. You're going to the sawmill.
Yes.
Okay.
To the long walk to the sawmill. Whee!
Yes, you're going
I'm there.
all
That was a very
the
long walk.
way to the southern part of town. Sorry, this isn't even the southern part of town. This is the. I forgot I rotated the map. This is
It's the western.
This is
part
the
of town.
western part of town. I really should unrotate this, so it doesn't confuse me. Okay,
I feel like this is the way it is in the book.
it is the way it's
Possibly.
it's landscape in the book, and I just brought it over from that. In any case, okay, so I guess, but the time it takes for Asher to walk all the way to the seventh sawmill, is probably about the amount of time it takes for you guys to do one round of searching if you guys are doing the search. So give me diplomacy checks.
Given assistance here. Oh, finally he gets a good roll. That's a natural 19 on a total of 20.
Okay, so
Yes.
Gunn gets a +2 to his.
Gunn has a total of 20.
Okay.
Plus 2. 4 on the dice.
Okay, so you guys go searching around town, trying to find more information on what became of Fen. And wait, is there sounds happening in
Well, I
the
just
back
heard
of
a
my head?
Discord noise, but that was it.
Yeah, that's somebody's bugging me.
Oh, okay,
I'm just
mute
gonna quit.
Discord then.
Yeah, yep.
That's why we go to streamer mode.
Streamer mode. Okay.
That's fun.
Sorry, you. Oh, right. The information you find. Okay, so you're looking for Fen, this halfling woman that you used to know, and you do find somebody who actually saw her, about 6 months ago.
Mhm.
He said that it's this kind of grumpy older dwarven man at kind of a seedy bar in the middle of the sort of nobles area, noble district of town. She looked a little bit scared last time I saw her. Seemed like somebody was after her. Somehow she got in bad with the town guard, I think. Had justices after her and everything.
Justice
I haven't-
Ironroot was after her?
Not sure which justice. There's a bunch of them. All I know is that she seemed to want to skip town mighty fast.
Don't blame her. Damn, though.
My guess
You're
is that she
unusual.
saw something she wasn't supposed to.
Interesting. What do you imagine she might have seen? What do you think it is, at least?
Well,
I'm not sure.
Where
She
would
said she had some kind of big job, stealing something quite nice from one of the nobles' houses, and
She got over her head.
who would you talk to if you wanted to leave town fast and quiet?
Leaving town fast. There's a lot of different thieves guilds that could probably help you out. Could probably try one of those.
If you want to see who she went to.
Well, since you don't got more leads on us, I appreciate your time, old man.
Yeah, no
pass the-
problem.
Couple silver.
It's not every day that I see. You don't have to give me any money, old Greshy.
And buy a beer or two. You'll want it. Who wouldn't?
Well, if you insist, and he scrapes the silver back into his hand. Okay. While that's happening, Asher,
Me.
you cross the large stone bridge onto the island where the 7 sawmill is located. It's not too hard to find the sawmill itself once you're there. It's one of the sort of larger main structures on the island, and it's just off of the southern coast of it, sort of right in the mouth of the river. And you can see it's a fairly large building. It's looks like it's about what is that? I guess 4 stories. Oh, sorry, 3 stories tall. Hangs out over the water. There's like 3 big water wheels attached to it that are constantly running with the flow of the river. As they run, you can hear the sound of saw blades whirring, powered by the water mills. There's a fence around the sort of outside edge of the property, blocking off any would-be visitors, but there is a large gate that currently stands open as one looks like just a standard worker, a human male, maybe in his late 40s or 50s, seems to be chatting with a two men with a big horse-drawn cart carrying stacks of processed lumber. They finish their conversation after a few minutes, and the horse cart drives off. And the remaining man closes the gate. Doesn't have a lock or anything. He just closes it and walks his way back over to the facility.
Ooh. So the fence around it is really high. Like I can't see over it. Is it just like all straight wood?
It's a pretty loose wood fence. You can pretty much see right through it. Think of, like just a simple wooden picket fence, but with kind of like double wide gaps in between.
Okay.
And it's about human height, basically. It's not too difficult to get around, but it seems like pretty minimal security.
All right. Well, I can walk. Can I walk around the perimeter, peeking in every so often and sneaking? Because I want to be quiet.
Okay. So there are a variety of other buildings around, various other like some leatherworking shops, just various other crafting and goods areas where they're like producing materials to be shipped off to other places. So there are a lot of people just walking around. Yes, if you would like to stealth, what is your stealth modifier?
That's a good question. It's 12.
Okay, so you have a okay. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, so you start sneaking around. First, you're just kind of walking. So you're going to try and go around the perimeter of the building?
Yeah, just kind of like looking and seeing if there's anything off or weird or any like weak points in the fence to kind of go through and poke around.
Okay. So the fence itself, there are a couple of spots where the wood looks pretty old, and you could probably just kick down a fence post and march your way in. It doesn't look too difficult to climb either. Especially you, of all people, you could climb this fence easily. And the fence doesn't even go. It doesn't like fully enclose the sawmill because the sawmill is on the water. You could just go out into, like, you could swim into the water and then up around the shore.
Not gonna do that.
To get in. Of course, you could also just walk right through the gate. The gate is closed currently, but it is not locked in any way. It looks like it has like a latching mechanism from the other side, but that's probably not too difficult to undo.
Are sawmills usually, like, you can go in and kind of do business? Is it unusual for someone just to kind of walk in?
Since you're Asher, I want a society check.
Yeah, I don't know if Let's go. Ooh, a 17. That's
not
pretty
bad.
okay.
That's not bad.
Okay. I mean, you've been to a sawmill recently. In Sandpoint, though, it wasn't currently operational. It wouldn't be so weird for people to just kind of walk up to, like, ask for a job or have any kind of inquiries. If they've got a fence like this, maybe, like, you wouldn't be surprised if they tried to shoo you out, but it doesn't seem totally unreasonable to walk towards the building and just ask people some questions.
It won't kill you. What's the worst that could happen?
I just don't know what I'd ask people at a sawmill.
So
No,
you, like,
I'm not
chopping
implying
wood
that you
here?
should do it. I'm just saying that to answer your question,
Yeah.
no, it would be reasonable for people to, like, walk in.
It wouldn't be like me walking in wouldn't be like, what the heck are you doing? Like someone walking into a vault at a bank. It just
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not
well,
really.
it would.
As long as you're
So hard
walking
not
with,
to
like,
comment right now.
good.
There's so many wood jokes. We're just gonna let them all go.
No, not even the joking part.
Oh,
Yep, no, just be
Like-
quiet. To continue answering Asher's question, yes, it would be fine to. You'd think it would be fine to walk over. Shoot, there was another part of your. Was there a last question that you had? I got distracted and I've lost my train of thought.
I don't remember now. We'll
Okay.
say it just isn't awkward to walk in. Because I don't know what I was asking anymore.
It would be more. Oh, sorry. What I was gonna say was that it would be more awkward to like crouch walk in.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna crouch walk in.
Like if you're doing like a solid snake, crouching against the fence and like dodge rolling in and darting between
so
bushes.
One guy's just like barely paid guy's just watching me do it, and he's like, what is this guy doing?
That would draw more suspicion than just like if you walked in with purpose, then nobody would probably stop you from the outside.
Time to try and walk in with purpose. With
Just strolling right on in there.
just strolling. I'm gonna see as much as I can see before I get shooed away.
Okay, so you're just gonna try and stroll on in.
Stroll on in.
Okay.
Not as loudly as possible, but, like, go up to the door, kind of push it open and look in and walk in. Wait, is there like any lumber?
A lot of the lumber seems to be like floating in the water right now. Like they have bundles of trees that have been delivered by boat, much like the other sawmill. There is a long path that leads up to the sawmill itself. And there's a bit of a kind of dock around the building. In fact, you don't see like the main entry doorway as you're approaching. But let me go ahead and switch you over to the map for it.
Oh, there's a
so you can
sawmill
look.
map.
Time
Time to wander around the
That's
sawmill.
not ominous at all. Sure, it's fine.
Uh-oh.
Can't find it.
It's all dark though. That's dangerous.
Okay, so you just start walking towards the sawmill. It looks like there's a staircase leading down along the front end of the building. It looks like it leads down to like a lower floor that's not visible from the shore. But it looks like the pathway also leads around the side, and that's where you saw the guy go earlier.
Okay. Is there any way to recall knowledge about what workers do at a sawmill?
Normally that'd be like some kind of lore check.
Like what
Society,
skills
sure.
would be?
Society. It's your knowledge
my
of
best
stuff.
skill. Ooh, a natural 20. What do people do to sawmill, Jason?
I mean, people at a sawmill normally they take lumber and they saw it into like more processed forms of wood to be used by other like wood product manufacturers. So like they'll take the raw trees, turn them into like planks and boards, and give those to, I don't know, like a table maker. So yeah, they basically sell to manufacturers of furniture and stuff. And buildings.
Would they sell like to someone, like a smaller party who's like, I need to build a house or something?
Sure, as long as it was like, it'd be a little weird to go like direct to a sawmill for like, I'm gonna make a birdhouse. But if you were actually making like a full house, then probably that would be more reasonable.
That's good to know. My natural 20 on what do people do at the sawmill. Alright, so I'll walk in here, which is where I assume I am. So he went to
Yeah, he kind of went around the corner there. And as you're approaching, you can actually hear a couple of voices talking. And my foolish self forgot to put some dudes there, so let me get those.
I mean, who would have expected us to go straight to the lumber mill?
Oh, no, that's fine. I just actually forgot to put these three guys there. There's three human men standing around near the water there. on the dock. Do I have a third person? Sure.
Oh,
Whee.
he's so
He's too big.
large.
Okay. Yeah, there's just 3 dudes. They have not currently noticed you. You're just kind of walking quietly.
Hey, that's pretty cool. What if I do a tumble down these stairs? Not tumble.
Okay, you just like take a sharp turn and duck behind.
I'm also gonna
the corner.
pretend I don't see them and like, oh, maybe the people I need are down this way.
Okay, you just start making your way down these stairs, and let me hopefully I can do this properly, and hopefully I didn't mess anything up.
Whoop.
You start working your way down the stairs, and you can see there's a door at the bottom.
Oh, nice. Perhaps that is the administrative office that I'm searching for. Going to go and see. Is there any label above the door, or is it just...
Let's see. So yeah, you approach this door and look for a label. You can hear a lot of noise, like the churning of the water wheels is pretty present, and in fact you think the water wheels might be like in here. You couldn't actually see them from the outside. That wasn't clear earlier. But there's a lot of just sound of water churning.
Well, it's time to open the door if I can.
Yes, given your natural 20 society, you suspect that this is where the water wheels are.
This is where the water wheel is. I'll open the door if it's not locked. Just a normal door opening.
Okay, you reach and twist the handle, and it does appear to be locked.
Oh,
well, that's because you tried to open it, Asher. You should know better.
If Greshy was here, it would open. Alas. And I don't have any lockpick tools. And I do think it would be strange to try and break it down. So...
Just need to borrow this door to fix up my own house. Can I just have it?
This is like the end of the walkway. There's just water down here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, back up the stairs I'll go.
Okay. Perception?
Oh. Let's perceive. A 30.
Okay, as you're making your way up the stairs, you can hear the sound of someone else walking across the around the corner.
Oh, well, there's nowhere to go for me. So
do the Kronk thing and hide against the wall.
I'll be like,
okay.
I'm not really here. Oh, it keeps skipping away. Hold on.
Well, I just teleported you up to the higher level. There's 2 levels to this map.
I'm just gonna zoom out all the way. There we go. I'll be tiny Asher.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I'll just continue walking.
Well, you can do either. If you want to hide, you can give me a stealth check. Otherwise, you can just keep walking.
If I hid, would I look like weird if someone looked down the stairs?
Yes, because this would be like, since the stairs are lower than the ground level, you would be like crouching down, and trying not to move or make any sound. If this person walks around the corner and turns, they'll see you. But if they happen to be walking forward over towards the gate, then they probably wouldn't see you.
It's a gamble. Do you like to gamble, Asher?
They will see me squatting. I'll be like, wow, oops.
Squatting.
I mean, you could try to make it look natural if you do get spotted, and that would be a deception check.
You're tying your boots up.
Ooh, I'm a +2 at deception. That's not so bad.
All right, decide fast.
All right, I'm gonna
Stealth or just walk forward.
I'm with stealth. I think that's what Asher would do.
Okay, roll stealth check.
Tie your shoe.
Do it. Where is my stealth? I keep losing it. There it is. All right, stealth. 31. Ooh, I'm very sneaky.
31 versus.
But if he turns, it doesn't matter.
Their passive perception, that is a critical success. So One of the 3 workers is walking past carrying a bundle of wood and is making his way over towards the front gate. But he doesn't see you at all, doesn't even bother to turn and look down.
What a great day for Asher.
He walks off.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go up towards the end, and I'm gonna listen around the corner to see if anyone's... maybe a slight peek.
You listen around the corner, and you can hear the other 2 men talking to each other in just sort of standard lowish voices. The sound of the water wheels, though, is drowning that out. You'd have to be closer to hear exactly what they're saying, but they don't seem to be moving.
Alright, around the corner I go.
Okay, Asher peeks out around the corner and sneaks
slowly
closer.
Walk towards them to see if I can get a better, not visual, auditory, visual
Oral?
of the situation, an oral encompassing.
Okay, yeah, you sneak a bit closer to try and get a closer hearing of what they're talking about. When do you think the next delivery is supposed to come in? Boss says it shouldn't come in till 2 days from now? And how about that weird stuff he asked us to ship? Is that already sent out? Oh yeah, that was taken care of a while ago. But what do you think that stuff was anyway? It looked like some kind of mushroom or something. Yeah, it was weird, but it's better just to not ask questions.
Ooh.
Anyway, how's your weekend looking? I have to go take the kids to the flower park.
Well,
The flower park. Alright.
Have you heard about? They
You
carry
heard about
on
this flower
with
park?
with generic
Pretty good.
NPC banter.
I should be like, is the flower park any good? I've been trying to take my kids there, my 2 children, my 2 sons with me to the flower park. All right.
Me and my partner Gunn, we're gonna take our 2 children, Phelan and Greshy.
I think we were the children.
I was saying Phelan was a child too, but
The 3 children and my 2 children and my dog really just love the flowers this time of year. All right. Well, I actually think that's more information unless I want to get it into a chat with these 2, which I don't really. So I'm going to turn around and begin to exit.
Okay. They don't seem to notice you as you're slipping away. And you make your way. You can see you don't see any sign of the 3rd guy. It seems like he maybe walked out of the gate. And you make your way down the path, past the gate.
Hey, that's pretty good for Asher's sneaking around.
And no one was the wiser.
somebody was successful.
I had a whole backstory for if someone caught me. It was gonna be so good.
I too wish to go to the flower park.
I also, man, my kids love that. I'm not good at deception, so I doubt it would have been like very good. But it could have been.
Okay.
And that's
What are Greshy and Gunn up to?
I don't think we've succeeded with finding Fen, so I believe the plan was to meet back at the bar.
Well, we had a couple of options that I can think of.
All right, what do you think?
The first is we could look for Thieves Guild or anyone who might have been involved in helping her get out of town. If you want to go deep side story over your friend.
I don't know how important it is to make Jason do a halfling voice, as entertaining as that would be. But more importantly,
I've done halfling
option-
voices already.
Option 2,
more
we have
halfling
a
voices.
bunch of money burning a hole in our pockets. we could see about some really quite nice gear for the team.
Wouldn't hurt. I will say that. And if I'm to be frank with you, Gunn, I don't have a great reputation with the thieves guilds in this town.
Ah, fair enough.
Not my best friends. We could, if need be. And I don't think they appreciate corruption any more than we do. Makes their lives even harder, but I don't think we want to be going talking to them unless we need to.
I'll take your
Hi, I was
for it.
muted.
There you
I was trying to say, Greshy would know that himself being kind of an outcast from the thieves guilds, the people that you would associate with also tend to be outcasts from the thieves guilds. So if Fen went to a thieves guild, it was probably pretty serious. Like, you don't
Right.
think that she would normally have dealt with a thieves guild at all, unless it was something pretty bad, or she got herself into some really tough situation, or some kind of massive debt or something.
If she saw something she wasn't supposed to see, then she would have wanted to skip town, which I don't blame her for. I'm actually surprised she came back at all, but Magmar's got a lot to give if you know how to get it. That said, if she jumped to try and get out of here, then she would have needed their help if she's seen something that regular ways out wouldn't do. Because you can just walk out the front gates if you know the right time and the right people to bribe. It's only when you fucked up something fierce that you're going to need somebody to smuggle you out.
Makes sense to me.
So we can go talk to the Thieves Guild and try and pursue that, but I think we do have a bit more pressing matters, and if truth be told, if we can figure out how to dissolve this brotherhood, as it were, might resolve the issue in and of itself.
All right. Well,
Just hope she got out okay.
likewise. Maybe we'll get time to follow it up later.
Aye. Well, let's if you had something in mind you wanted to see about purchasing.
No, I was just asking for your input, actually.
Oh, well.
We picked up a sizable sum of money. If there's anything that could help us on our mission against this brotherhood, we might be able to find it in town.
There's several shops. It just depends on how much you want to spend and who you want to trust.
Well, how about we have a look, and we can look through the book here and see if there's anything
Shop an episode.
generally helpful to the party.
Oh, sure. We can, well... I feel like that's going to slow things down.
Yeah, in general, I prefer that if you guys want to buy things, then try to figure that out offline if you can. I mean, if you
what I was
know,
thinking.
yeah, if you know something offhand that you want to get, then sure, we can go to the store and buy it. But otherwise, I generally prefer people to prep those lists before the show.
I agree.
Yep, I agree.
Just in principle. So we'll come back to that.
I mean, what I can give you is that if you would like to spend now to do some shopping and then retroactively buy something later, in between episodes, I will let you do that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's have a look around at the shops and say that we may have purchased something for the team,
Okay.
That sounds good.
and then we'll head back to the inn.
Yeah, and I'll just be, I shall arbit whether or not it was a reasonable thing to purchase or something that is a little too opportune.
I would like a bolt of killing the bad guy. Can I get to that?
Yeah, no.
We'll give it to Asher. It'll be perfect.
No, oh, we're fighting elementals now. Oh, whoops, I have, gun of elemental slaying.
Perhaps not. All right.
As far as what I'm doing, could I find it's thieves' tools to unlock doors and stuff, right?
Yes.
Aye.
Could I search for those right now since it's pretty simple?
Yeah, that's a pretty easy thing to find in this city. You can give me a diplomacy check to see how long it takes you to find those, but
I hope it takes me hours on end.
just to like gather some
19.
information.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, you know how to ask around in kind of the seedier parts of town as you're kind of making your way eastward. And you find a shop that it does happen to sell a few packs of thieves' tools.
How much?
They should just be whatever the standard price is, which is what I am looking up right this second.
Where am I?
Adventuring gear, thieves' tools. So they sell thieves' tools for 3 gold. Replacement picks are 3 silver apiece. They also have Infiltrator's 3 thieves' tools, the better version, which is level 3 for 50 gold. And Infiltrator picks, which are the ones you need to replace in that set, are also are 3 gold.
Okay, so the original was how much again? And what's the difference between them? Like what?
You get to
the
plus
check
1 with
do?
infiltrators.
Okay.
You may need to be expert to use them, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong about that.
That might be true, yes.
But if you
thieves'
can use them,
tools.
you get a plus 1 to your thieving, your lockpicking checks, which is nice.
Nice.
So
Well, I'm only trained. Oh, not yes. I'm only trained, so I can use. I'll just get the cheaper
do
ones. In
this.
this case.
Oh no, you're allowed to use Infiltrator's
it's a level
tools.
thing, right? It's not the actual training; it's the level. That was the difference.
It's level
It's
is
level
your
2.
access to it, and these are
Right.
level 3, so you're
Ah.
able to find them fairly easily.
And there you go. You can use them. You can get the fancier tools and get to plus 1. Just cost more, and cost more to replace the picks, which can be a thing, I guess.
The picks break after a certain.
They
Failure.
break on crit failures.
They break on
Okay.
crit failures. That said, you can find ways to get jimmies or like makeshift picks. They just won't give you that bonus, and they
Okay.
won't be as effective, in fact, as regular picks would be. So you can still use them technically, but I think you take a penalty if you're not using like proper picks
Yeah,
with them.
and I believe they come with a set of 3 picks each.
So it's like your normal set of like 50 gold comes with 3 picks already.
That's the Infiltrator set. Yeah, that comes with 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll come with 3 picks, and then you could buy replacement picks now or later, as you run them out. But they
I'll
only
do
break
the-
on critical
the 50
failures.
for the normal
Okay,
3 or the
for the Infiltrator set.
three. Yep.
Okay, so you have Infiltrator thieves tools.
Let me
Nice.
do that real quick. Perfect.
Okay, so you guys do a bit of shopping before your designated meeting time. Lights out again for Gunn.
Yeah, we're good.
And where did you guys say you wanted to meet up again?
Back at the Salty Sea Witch.
Okay. So, unless somebody tells me otherwise, you guys all meet back up at the Salty Sea Witch, your designated meeting time, which I think you said was around noon.
Thereabouts. Couple hours. So yeah, about noon seems reasonable. We'll have some lunch. Have a nice something to drink.
Okay.
Nothing fancy.
Yeah, 2 silver per person. Oh, sorry, that's not even the right amount. That should be copper, I think.
Probably copper.
For a meal. Yeah, we'll call that
Not
2
the
copper.
nicest place. Sure. And I'll
Yeah,
pay
it's
extra
between
for-
a pour and a square meal. It's all right.
And I'll. Can I pay an extra copper to make sure that Phelan gets fed?
Yeah.
Sure.
He provide the barkeep provides some just scraps of meat and bones for Phelan to eat and chew on.
It's been a while since he's had. Well, he hasn't had it, but it's been a while since he's had Magnemar food, proper right and all that. So. Did you find anything else interesting, Asher, on your trip? We didn't find Fen, unfortunately. So
Did, but I realized I made a horrible error. It's not horrible.
what?
I just realized it's an error. They're getting a new delivery at the sawmill in 2 days. I don't know what time.
Okay.
So,
What's the delivery? Does it matter?
I don't know. They didn't say,
I'm
just a
guessing
new
that's
delivery.
wood.
But the last delivery they had, which they sent out, was a weird delivery of some kind of mushrooms or fungus.
But using your knowledge of sawmills, don't sawmills get deliveries of wood sometimes?
No, they don't. They don't ship out mushrooms. That's for sure.
No, not that. But I mean, like,
Are they saying that this delivery, were they implying that this delivery would have been also some sort of strange type of thing?
I don't
think?
know if that was implied, but they did talk about some weird deliveries going in and out of other things. So they're clearly passing stuff through.
Mushrooms.
And there was a lot of wood, it looked like, floating around that they could be using. So I'm not convinced that it's a delivery of
Did
wood.
what form would the harvested greed take? Do we have any occult knowledge we can draw on?
Well,
That
I was
looks like-
actually going to say that perhaps, as far as Vorel was concerned, and Asher kind of pointed at it, that he was a fungus, some sort of mold.
That's true. He did get
Did we
turned
see any
mushrooms.
mushrooms blooming down there?
mold. No, we didn't. It was
Okay.
moldy,
What?
the shape of a person.
What if there were?
Hmm.
Yeah, what if they took the
What-
mushrooms?
That's it. What if they were mushrooms, but they were harvested and being used for other things? And that's what
Yeah.
these deliveries are.
Magic hate mushrooms of failed lichdom.
Yes. They can inflict all sorts of terrible things if they're shipping these out to other places.
Yeah, that would probably be ultra poisonous, I guess.
That would be dangerous to be sure. And depending on what they're doing and who they're shipping it to, they didn't say, did they, Asher?
They didn't say where it was getting shipped, just that
Okay.
it was being shipped. And it also didn't sound like they were too knowledgeable about why.
There's just regular workers there.
Yeah.
Let's
It's a
have
legitimate
look at-
business.
let's have a look at the letter the last letter to Aldern, and see if there's anything that
This letter?
This letter.
you have served us quite well. The delivery you harvested from the caverns far exceeds what I had hoped for.
See? There you go.
You
It's
may
the
consider
mushrooms.
it. So that was what he gave them. That they then considered your debt paid in full, and that's separate from the greed that he was helping them harvest with the Sahedron ritual.
Yes, I think it was. Because that was before he died, I think. Died.
Now my agent shall contact you there soon. No
So
need for you to brothers further.
he was harvesting the mushrooms to pay off his debt.
Then they taught him the ritual, which he then used.
That was the debt him trying to buy back full rights to the house?
Could have been.
Because it was only, what, 20 more years left before he'd have to give it up entirely, right?
Right.
So perhaps he thought, I'll do what they ask me to, then I'll get the house, and then I can use that to parlay into whatever else he wanted to do. And then they killed him.
Or maybe he had some other debt.
Also possible, also possible. So he had some debt to pay, either a house or something else, and then he was paying it off with these mushrooms that they had found down in the basement. They knew he was going to die. They knew he was going to die, and they let him,
They knew they were going to kill him.
and they brought him back. Because he was not done. Because they wanted more to do with him.
Sure.
So, what do these mushrooms do, though?
Maybe we can do some research on that if there's arcane libraries we can peruse for a.
Ooh, I
Oh,
love reading
certainly.
books.
The churches of Abadar, and there's going to be libraries, of course, just throughout.
Or occult libraries specifically.
Not as familiar with the cult, I'll be honest.
They would probably be
It's
like a book shop where a guy might carry an occult book.
entirely possible.
Because they're kind of a weird thing, I'd imagine, to have laying around.
Necromancy is not exactly a popular subject, even if it's useful at times. but especially lichdom is one of those things that they kind of avoid.
That's a
So
really good connection, Greshy. I had forgotten that part of the letter
all
about
right.
what they were.
Well, I read it last time or the time before that. So sticks in the head that way. So if they're, what did they do in the mushrooms though? They trying to be liches themselves? These 7 brothers. You humans only have so many years. Perhaps they want to continue their
Well,
lifespans.
we must assume they're powerful in some way, but I doubt they have any kind of restorative or sustaining properties. It sounds more like a
A curse.
curse. Yeah.
Well,
If they're growing from someone who failed to become a lich,
perhaps it depends. Maybe they just want the power.
Maybe they want to put other people under their control.
I suppose they could be an ingredient in some kind of further necromantic potion.
Something.
Maybe. We could try looking for
Or
another
spell.
book on like occult
Yeah, we should definitely.
vegetables. It's not a vegetable.
That's a
Occult
specialty
cooking.
store.
Can we look for an
That's the store if I've
occultist's
heard one.
cookbook? It's like the anarchist cookbook, but specifically for the occult. Is that something we can find? So there are libraries, but we're not going to find what we're looking for in a library. I'm sure of that. They wouldn't want that public knowledge. I just.
We'll definitely have to.
Yeah, I mean, finding this. So if you guys are committed to searching for this, you could start with a diplomacy check to gather information to see if anywhere in town would carry information like this.
I will do that.
Can we all attempt it? Like we're all looking?
Yes, you can either all look separately, or you can.
Can I
you can roll
assist with
assistance.
Magmar lore?
Yes,
at
you
all?
can. Yep.
Okay.
I will allow Magmar lore as an assist to.
I would be happy to assist with Magmar lore. That's a 29.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay.
Assist.
That is a critical assist, so +4 to whoever rolls the diplomacy to
I
actually
will
look.
roll the diplomacy.
Alright, I like
I have
that.
a 16 plus 14, 30.
Okay.
So 34 total.
34.
Nice.
Okay, so you go asking around town. Greshy knows a few arcane theorists of note, and various other libraries that might carry these sorts of books, or at least have information on them. And asking around, it's they all kind of give you like, why do you want information on
Because
on
we're
this
just the
particular
nicest and
subject?
most friendly folk.
This is basically like this type of necromantic reading material is pretty outside of what is generally allowed. So after
Well-
about a couple hours of searching, it doesn't seem like anywhere in town is likely to have this as like some kind of book that you'd be able to find. And since this is like a super critical success, you could also ask about what you talk to a couple of wizards who at least could have some ideas on the subject.
Yeah, and I'll, if they seem like good wizards, then I will probably approach it as like, hey, we're investigating crimes, and we think this kind of ritual might be involved. And if they are neutral or bad wizards, then
Smite
I'll
'em.
probably
Kill them on the spot.
no, play it off more like just curiosity.
Sure. You find a kind of more neutral. The best, most intelligent source that you've seemed to found is this very neutral seeming, very like strictly academic type wizard. And you pose it as like an intellectual curiosity. and she's an older woman, grayed hair tied up into like a really tight ponytail. She wears these kind of long flowing blue robes. And
You have a name.
Bathilda?
Might be the kind of person we could come back to later. Befriend.
Oh.
Bring
all
with
I
us on
Needs
our
a big
adventures.
Backstory.
No, like.
Oh,
just
goodness. Sure. Let me think of her name
new
real quick.
resource. Well, give me a race. It's a female. Mage.
Human.
Female mage.
Yep.
A little bit.
Because
older.
it's always human. Jason.
It's a human town.
It's a human city. This is like a primarily human area, so it's easy to. Most people are
This is true.
humans. I gave you a gnome and a dwarf earlier.
I'm teasing,
Like,
Jason.
calm down.
I'm teasing. It's
The
fine.
city is
We
like
already found
90%
a
humans.
gnomish, Smith, yeah.
One.
His name either, huh?
Her name is Gertrude.
Gert. There we go.
Full of the names. You went with
the
Gertrude.
mage. No, I'm
Alright.
good with that.
Yes,
The
Gertrude.
mage.
Yeah, Gertrude von Eisbolt
Granny.
is her name.
Granny Gertrude.
Yep. Anyway, that is a curious question you ask. Indeed, what could they use? What could one use? The remains of a failed lich experiment. I suppose there are perhaps strong necromantic qualities still imbued in the spores. Perhaps they could be used as a poison. If any of the curses left, perhaps you could use them to curse others or corrupt them. Perhaps. She
Is there
keeps
a name
talking
to
over
that
you.
sort of material.
Typically you'd call it a phage. Phage.
Ah,
I have heard of this sort of phage being used in all sorts of nasty spells and alchemical concoctions. It could do quite a lot of damage in the wrong hands. And then she proceeds to talk to you for about 4 more hours, going over all of the hypothetical use cases of this substance.
Does she at least make a good cup of tea?
She doesn't even attempt to make a cup of tea. She just keeps talking the whole time.
I'm gonna
while
make a cup of tea then.
Yeah, while she's talking, you just kind of walk over and start brewing some tea yourself and pass it out to everyone else and drink while she's and just all kind of trying to be polite. Eventually, one of you starts to just kind of motion towards the door, and you all kind of start to back your way
well,
out
I
of the
think we
room
must
while
be
she still
going.
talks to you.
Thanks again for.
Oh, surely you don't. Would you like to stay? I was actually planning on writing a lecture about various fungal attributes. Perhaps you'd like to provide some. You're all just kind of backing out the door, eventually you close and
Dr.
she's still
Mrs.
kind
Van
of talking.
Weisbolt, I'll be happy to talk to you another time. Thank you.
But we'll come
And
again.
Out the door. Out the door.
Okay. You guys make it out into the streets.
We've
Oh,
escaped.
quickly.
It was very dangerous in there.
I guess you guys are probably up here somewhere in the capital district.
Probably more the capital. Naos
Okay,
is not bad.
it's like 6 p.m. now. By the time you're out of there.
Well, did we want to go invade a sawmill tonight, or do we want to wait for this delivery?
Could, but it's pretty crowded around where it is. So maybe waiting for the delivery
The
to
delivery
see if someone more
probably
important
would.
is there.
If
Either
you want
way.
to go in at night, I would go whenever.
I feel like if we think they do their maintenance at night, so if they're doing the delivery in 2 days, do you think they prep it beforehand?
I think the delivery's coming in. I didn't think it was going out.
You think so?
I don't remember if it was specified actually, but it sounded.
If this
It sounded
was
like an
know if I
incoming.
remember.
It sounded like an incoming delivery.
an incoming
Yeah,
delivery.
It sounded like it was incoming and not like they were shipping wood out.
All right.
Let's give it one more day at the Foxglove Manor.
Okay, we can do that. Keep a careful eye out.
Okay, so you guys return to the Foxglove Manor once more for the evening.
As we head to the Foxglove Manor,
Mhm.
can I keep an eye out to see how much attention we've attracted since we've been in town?
Sure. Sense motive. Sorry, perception is the sense motive. in
It's
this
like
game,
sense motive, but much more generalized. It's only a 22 total.
Okay. You are carefully watching out, looking at other people to see if they've taken notice of you. It doesn't seem like anybody is particularly paying attention to you all.
If it helps, I'm specifically looking to see if there's any Thieves Guild members. Particularly.
They're pretty hard to see if they're there, so you're
Okay.
not 100% sure. There's always that kind of niggling worry at the
doubt.
back of your mind, but you didn't happen to spot any on your trip over here.
That's fair. All right.
Let's go in the back gate again and make sure no one's watching the house.
I feel the neighbors at this point
then
must be
check on
very
our-
suspicious.
Yeah, going in the front door seems less suspicious than always sneaking in the back.
But that's the thing about sneaking.
Is that you're bad at it?
Okay, so you guys enter the alley around the townhouse, go in through the back entrance, step through the flower and the back kitchen doorway, and make your way back inside. I mean, it looks mostly undisturbed, other than when you walked through it this morning.
Okay, because that'd be the point of it. Yeah. All right.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like you left it this morning.
Okay.
No roll to be made because it is.
Cool. Let's just camp again, I guess.
Sure. I'll take
Okay.
first watch again.
I'll make sure you're totally full this time.
Rolling.
Night's rest, I'll be fine.
And that. Okay. The night passes without issue. You all take your various watches, and in the morning you wake up feeling refreshed.
Do we level up?
No.
That was a joke, since we haven't done anything over the last 2 days. Anyway,
Level up for your flower traps.
and for Asher doing pretty good job of exploring.
There wasn't a whole lot to explore, I gotta say.
More importantly, you went in by
today-
yourself and didn't get caught. That's pretty good.
That was kind of weird. I was expecting to fumble it up.
All right, we've
In the
made it
kindest
to
way possible. Yes.
Toil Day, the Lamachan the 22nd. So this is the equivalent of Tuesday. And again, Lamachan is basically October. So we're coming up on Halloween.
Ooh.
Wait until then to do the
Yeah,
investigation.
a spooky night.
Halloween, just speed it up. No.
I've forgotten the name of the Halloween equivalent. It's like Lamashtu's Eve or something.
Seems very on the nose. Well, I have no idea what your Moss wants to do today.
It's called Allbirth.
Allbirth.
All
right.
That's kind of a creepy name in context.
Yes.
That's when all the monsters are birthed at once. when they come
Yeah,
out.
she is the
galloping.
mother of monsters. Okay, yeah. What would you guys like to do today? Look at the homeowner's insurance, says Ido in the
Might
chat.
not be a bad idea. Can we burn the place down and reap the rewards?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I
if
don't
you
know.
go
I'm
get
really, really in
insurance-
tune with this idea that Ido's got. We're gonna
Oh
declare
my
war
God.
against the HOA. We'll let them know that we're here, know that we're coming for them.
The HOA?
The HOA is
Yes.
definitely the Brotherhood of the Seven.
They are.
Man, that's a good workaround. We don't have to go to the sawmill. We'll just declare
get
war
them to
against
come
the
to us.
HOA.
Well, let's see. So angles, we can fully infiltrate the sawmill. Best done at night. We could try and do like society checks and find out maybe what Aldern or fake Aldern has, if he's been active in the area, what their house has been doing. There hasn't been any mail arrived or anything like that.
Nope, no mail has arrived since you guys have been there.
We think we know just about everything related to the letter and the deed.
I think if we were gonna do some checking around, it might be better to try and see if we can find. I'm gonna keep picking on him because he's a right bastard and messed with me when I was younger. There's Justice Briarwood,
Ironbriar?
Ironbriar, Briarwood,
Ironbriar.
Briar,
It's Ironbriar.
Ironbriar. It's an awkward name to say, isn't it? Ironbriar.
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 Justice Ironbriar. Justice Ironbriar.
Okay, anyway.
Is. I mean, he's the only one I know, but I know
we
from
that-
personal experience, and he's a right bastard.
We know
and-
that largely the Brotherhood controls the town guard.
And he definitely has some control of the town guard. He,
Which is
I did tell you folks I was attacked by the Seven at one point, right?
Did you?
nope.
That did not happen.
Oh,
Story time.
as an aside,
The story
it's a
time
long
is,
story. It was a strange it was a strange night. But suffice to say, there was a little prick who was got pricked to death. About the time that I met, actually, was the time I met for second to Phelan. And anyway, bastard died because he was an asshole, and normally that's the end of it. Two thieves fight in the streets, and one of them dies, and nobody gives a damn. Except the next morning, I'm suddenly being tracked down by this Ironbriar and a full contingent of guards because apparently I did something bad to them. Not sure what. I got away for a time, but they ended up imprisoning me for a while.
Ooh. You were in prison, Greshy.
Oh, I've been all over the place.
So powerful. What
I'm
a story.
super strong, you can
Yeah.
tell.
You
And
did all
I
those
do. It's the
push-ups.
Bugs Bunny thing where the muscle just kind of falls down and super strong. It was not pleasant. Glad Phelan waited for me to get out.
Aw.
But I don't know that there was a symbol on some of the dead men who assaulted me. It was a 7. It was a simple 7. Just seeing that number pop up too many places nowadays makes me very suspicious.
like a tattoo. Or
No,
like
it was
carved
sewn
on-
into their clothes, like on the inside
Hmm.
of one of their shirts. Well, coats.
Could we mimic that? Could we make some for ourselves? Or
We could
okay.
try.
I'll just go. Does it look like this? And I have one.
Oh no!
No, he does not.
Greshy
The
starts-
whole time.
I literally can do that. I literally can do that because I've got the
Oh.
thing. I can
Oh,
change my
yeah.
clothes at will.
Okay, sure. All right.
I would
yeah,
never
you
trust Gunn again.
I will.
give
it
me
doesn't.
give me
Greshy, help
give
me
me
get
a
it right.
flat give me a flat check.
you
Just
want me to?
roll a d20. No,
A
gun.
gun. Okay.
Greshy, help me get it right. Tell me how to make it look
Well,
correct.
Do your flat check, and we'll see if you get it right the first time.
Yeah, just
I'm
roll a
looking for
d20.
I'm looking for it.
It's the bottom of your abilities.
There we are. No. Oh, is it?
Oh, you can just. I mean, you
I
can
was
just
just
roll.
gonna-
You can also
d20,
just
but-
type.
Yeah, I got a 14.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I was looking for the
Um,
right tab.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
'cause I'm gonna zoom for the most part.
He's got he sort of turns the inside of his collar, or his illusory collar, towards you since he's wearing this glamored armor, that just looks like a tunic. And on the inside is this blue embroidered 7, in stylish like cursive font.
Does it look enough similar to what I remember?
Give me an intelligence check.
Sure.
This was
And-
some years ago, and you looked at it for all of a few moments. You
15.
honest, it doesn't look like you remember now, but you also don't really remember what it looked like exactly.
Just remember it was a number. It was a 7.
The digit 7,
It was the number 7.
not the Sahedron. Okay.
No, it was not the Sahedron.
Correct,
I would have.
yes.
That would have been a different thing. It was a
Yeah,
number.
it was literally just
which
the
is
number
why
7.
I didn't put it together until we started coming up against some Brotherhood of the 7. That was a name I
Oh,
didn't really run along against when I was here.
okay.
You're pretty sure that the number was done in like orange with red trim, but you can't remember the specifics enough to like draw it out even.
Well, if we find someone who has it, I can imitate it.
And I could cut it off and sew it into my shirt.
That part would not work.
Oh no.
Well, I have a thought, but it requires. I don't know if we want to go and kill random people. It seems a bit much.
Do you want to go kill the Justice?
I mean, for many reasons I would, because that guy's an asshole.
Yay.
But there was the man they imprisoned me for killing had a brother. He might have been in on it too.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if we want to go and kill more people for no reason, but there's another Bandito brother out there.
What if he wants revenge?
I would have been killed by now already if that was
Gonna-
what they were
Did
really
he
looking
like
for.
his brother? Was it a strained relationship?
Gonna have to say no to random murder.
I
Oh,
But
no, I wouldn't do it either.
maybe we could like have a conversation.
really didn't want to
murder
go deal with the
conversation.
Thieves Guild, but
And we might find out about your friend.
I. Well, suppose we're gonna go talk to some thieves. See if they like to operate during the daytime as much as they like the night.
I mean,
Different sorts
you
of
know for a
operations.
fact that they don't really operate during the day, so you'd have to wait until nightfall.
Well,
I mean, or we could just tell them. Is there someone we could put out word we would like a meeting,
Sure.
and then wait for them at the right?
we could.
place?
If you want to tell an urchin to get the night scales involved, we'll get them involved. Just keep your weapons ready.
We could find a meeting place that's relatively safe-ish.
Depends on who we're
Where they-
meeting. They may just
where
want us
they-
to meet them where they're at.
That's the opposite of safe-ish.
It is, but we're meeting the Thieves Guild. Do you think they're going to want to meet us on neutral terms?
Yeah, we don't really exactly have anything to offer them.
Exactly. But Thieves Guild is not necessarily out to kill us. They're out to further their own selves.
Mhm.
That's always been the way they work. So as long as we're doing something that in some way benefits them. Might be thinking if you can convince them that this is for their own good to tell us what information they might have.
Yeah. What angle could be used there?
Aye.
The whole murders that no one else seems to care about angle is a decent one.
Also, corruption in the government. It does affect them. Even if these people are corrupt for things that make their lives easier in principle, it still costs them money out of their pockets to pay them.
That's true.
So that's one way we might swing that.
Who should we ask for a meeting? We could go to the informant we spoke to the other day. Or the information broker, sorry.
She might have connections.
Or if you have your own connections.
It's been 20 years since I've lived here, Gunn. And my connections didn't like me in the first place when I was here.
I thought it was.
Fen was about as close as it got, and she's scampered off like a wise person would.
All right. West End, then back to the.
Aye. Well, and this episode is we ended the last episode talking to a fortune keeper.
So what are you guys? What are you doing? You're going somewhere.
We're gonna put out word somehow that we want a meeting with the
Night Scales.
The Night Scales.
With the Night Scales specifically? Okay.
I'd rather not meet with the Gallowed. They're just assholes.
Okay. Give me another diplomacy check to find someone who can set up a meeting. You can Magmar lore to assist if you wish.
Fabulous. It's a 28 to assist.
Okay.
And a 29 on the check.
Okay. You all make your way over towards the dockside where you know the Night Scales like to operate. And ask around surreptitiously in the back alleys, Greshy, finding who you should ask or who you should talk to, who you shouldn't talk to. Eventually, you're pointed in the direction of a balding 40-something human male, dark skin, very like sagging features, has kind of a lazy eye, like a lazy one lazy eye and one glass eye, and he seems to just work at a fishery near the docks. You guys make your way inside the building and ask around for him. You're pointed over to him, and he looks up at you from his table where he's currently canning some fish. Oh, I heard you wanted me for something.
Are you Hawkeye? No.
Yep, the name's Hawkeye. That's what they call me around here these days, anyway. If you know that, then you must know my connections.
You come highly recommended. We have a matter to discuss. Some concern to both of us.
And it's the scaly boys you want to talk to?
We think so.
And who might I be putting them in contact with? You don't look like the thieving type, Mr. Fancy Man.
I'm gonna look at Greshy with a look that says, "Is it your name?"
Dagnabber is who they'd be talking to.
Dagnabber, huh? Give me... Well, he kind of glares at the three of you while I look at the thing. Where are they? Okay. He kind of grunts. I don't think they really want to talk to you.
I understand, but it's too bad. We need to talk to them. And they're going to want to know about it.
Seems to me that last time you had something to offer them, it worked out pretty well.
Actually, no, it didn't, but that's not the point. They still
For
need to
that
know.
one particular guy, no, but for everyone else on their gang, I think that was generally a good result. Since he was working behind the boss's back, yeah. I don't say that part out loud, but...
Well, word on the street is that old Dagnabber's used up all his clout.
Well, if you really wanted to find out, I can give you some clout right now. Right upside the back of your head. Or you can just do as we're asking. Then there's no clout to be needed.
If you want to kill me, go right ahead. I've lived a long life.
You
Okay.
look at-
Can I make a trip attack?
Sorry, a sneak attack?
A trip
that what you mean?
attack.
Oh, a trip attack. You're gonna try and trip him.
Yes.
Sure. Athletics?
Athletics. Ah, damn. It's only 16.
Okay, you try to sweep his leg with your staff, and it just whack right into it. You didn't realize that he's got like a wooden prosthetic. He knees you. Does a 20 hit your AC?
Does not.
Okay. He tries to go for a knee. You kind of catch and soften the blow and just stagger back.
all right, gentlemen, settle down.
We'll see what kind of clout you really need if you're dead. As we all will be if we don't do something about this. We want to talk to the Night Scales. We need to let them know what's going on. They'll benefit from this.
It's in their best interest, I'll say.
He shakes his head. Nope, I think I've had enough of this. You'll be getting on out of here now. And he turns and makes way for like the back of the room towards another door.
Okay, I'm gonna... The symbol that's on the inside of my cloak, Greshy said it was orange with red trim. I'm gonna change it to that, and then I'm gonna like show him that and say, does this change your mind?
He turns and looks back.
Just a quick flash.
I fake police.
Exactly.
Metal.
Give me a deception check.
All right. I have a 13.
Uh-oh.
Not the rolls we're looking for.
Well, we could do a little...
You'd better
You're
watch who you're flashing that to, kid. Well, not kid. Man. Sir.
Old man. Young
Sir.
adult.
Better watch who you're flashing that to,
Medium-aged.
sir.
Sir, you'd better watch who you're flashing that to. You might get in trouble for that one. You're lucky that I'm a kind man. A soft, gentle man.
I see. I can tell.
He turns and just walks out.
That could have gone a lot better.
It's been a long time since I've had to tussle with folk.
Damn.
Sorry about that.
Well, if we wait until nightfall, we might be able to find someone without him.
It's
Or-
true, but
Or
again,
should we go to the sawmill tonight?
might as well go to the sawmill. As much as I'd rather have some allies at our back. We have Phelan. He's the best ally you can ask for.
Yeah.
Also, you two are pretty good too.
Well,
not
it's
gonna lie.
nighttime.
It's nighttime. Adam found the darkness.
The darkness found
The
me.
darkness. The darkness rises.
Suddenly
There we
your
go.
vision goes black, and you're back. Okay, what are you guys doing?
Do we want to just camp out around the sawmill until dark falls?
I mean, you can wander around the town area.
I thought you hated town, Asher.
I do, but where are we gonna camp?
The flower park.
It's literally the flower park. I heard of this nice park that these gentlemen were discussing where they were gonna take their kids after soccer, or the version of soccer they play in this place. And let's go lay in the flower park.
Do you know where the flower park is?
See that I know where it is about as much as I know what time the delivery is getting there.
So you know of it, but you don't know where.
Yes.
There's a few parks. I showed you the one I like the most, Monuments, but not sure where
You
this
don't-
flower park he's
Yeah,
talking about is.
you don't recall ever hearing about a flower park.
That guy was probably lying.
That's entirely possible.
Lars.
Well, we can find a park. So we'll find a park for the rest of the day, and then we'll go to the sawmill as darkness falls.
Okay.
Sound
You
good?
head towards one of the bigger parks in the center of town, and you're just hanging out there until close to nightfall, or after nightfall.
Sure.
Yep. Get
I'm
Which one?
still keeping an eye out to see if we've, especially now, attract attention of other sorts.
Sure. Perception.
That's a decent roll. 15 for 29 total.
There's certainly some eyes on the group of you as you leave the fishery. And you swear you're being followed for a good portion of the way through town towards the park. But after you're in the park for a bit, seem to have lost sight of whoever was tailing you.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out to play fetch with Phelan for a while. Try and not tucker him out, but get a bit of that extra energy going. Then,
Okay, he's just like running in
Shot.
circles. Yeah.
yes. Still got that broken
So
wand of holding
happy.
or wand of healing that I'm just using. It's a pretty good stick. It's been nice.
He's got that in his mouth and he's running in circles. He's not even bringing it back to you.
No, Phelan, I can't come back here.
Yay.
And then, as darkness falls, we'll start making our way south to the sawmill.
Okay. So, as darkness falls, you all make your way down towards the sawmill. Do. And I can go back here. Whoop. Well, I won't show anything just yet.
Ah, damn.
So you guys reach the sawmill, and now that it's nightfall, a lot of this district, the island seems to be fairly empty or emptying out. You see a lot of workers packing up and bringing carrying their lunch boxes through the street. Yeah, people just sort of gathering their stuff up and heading back home. Most people don't live on this island. It looks like it's just a lot of industrial buildings basically, and warehouses and that sort of thing. So for the most part, it's kind of busy on the street right now as people are flooding out, but it's kind of the tail end of that, so things are starting to quiet down by the time you get all the way over near the sawmill. The sawmill itself looks dark. Ooh, does it have any windows? Let me check. It might. I keep going at the wrong map. No, it doesn't have any windows. Yeah, there's no windows on the structure. And there are some torches on the outside. But they are not currently lit. What would you guys like to do?
Kick.
You guys are standing
down.
outside the fence, which is currently closed and looks like it's latched.
We can sneak in one of the sides.
Is it
try and
locked or
break in
just
the front.
latched?
It's latched from the opposite side.
Is there enough of a gap to kind of try and stick something through, move the latch over?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Might as well try. I will give it a shot.
Okay, you just walk on over and reach your staff in and jimmy it. Give me a thievery check.
Sure. That's a 27 total.
Okay, it's simple work for you. In like 2 quick motions, you undo the lock and prop the bar up with your staff, and the gate is now unlocked.
Entrance. That's for as in forget the fuck in.
Just
Like,
inside
I don't
the gate.
speak that language. I should just like blankly stare at Greshy. Is that a magical term?
Yeah, it means get inside.
Oh, okay. Let's go in.
Okay, you all make your way towards down the path towards the sawmill in the late evening hours, as the sun is already set beyond the horizon, and you're just kind of walking out in darkness towards this building with only the
I'm running
moonlight
into
to shine above.
because I can't see.
Well, there's moonlight right now. You can see pretty well. It's I don't actually know what the moon is right now. Maybe it's like a half moon.
a
It's
new
bright
moon and
enough.
I can't see.
It's not a
Can't
new
see
moon
ship
currently.
captain.
Whoa.
Oh, I could probably figure out what moon it was. I'm not gonna do that right now.
That's complicated right now.
But yeah. So there is moonlight currently. As you all walk your however you're walking. Are you guys walking stealthily or just
You're actually be moving
charging
stealthily.
forward?
Yes,
I'll change
running.
my clothes to be like all black, like stealthy. Not stealthy,
You've gone
like
ninja
a
mode.
thief suit. I'll go ninja mode.
Okay. Your glamored armor shifts to this kind of black, sleek outfit.
There's no
And-
mechanical benefits, but it could help me prevent from being recognized. Or
Sure. Yeah. I'll keep that in mind that it's there. Maybe it'll give you a bonus. Okay. So you guys kind of sneak your way forward, closing the gate behind you. And that is, since it is now 9:30ish, that is where we shall end the session for tonight. So, hope everybody had fun as we
Of
continue
course.
to try and solve the mystery of history. I don't know.
The mystery of the mystery.
The
We don't know what we're figuring
The
out, but we're gonna
mystery
figure it
of
out.
Seven.
everyone's
Yes.
birthday.
Yes. As we try to discover
That is
everyone's
the
birthdays.
overarching mystery of the campaign.
Should we
Yeah.
add that to our character details? Be like, born on Lamachan the 21st. And we
Yeah,
discussed their
I would
birthday
take your
yesterday.
birthdays. Yeah. We could talk about that off stream. But anyway,
Right.
hope everybody enjoyed. Next time we shall see what's up with this devious sawmill. So stay tuned for that. Remember, we're twitch.tv/thirdaction. We stream live on every Tuesday. We're here next week, right? I think so.
We
Yeah.
are.
I'm
For
I
here.
think
your-
throughout the rest of February as well, we're set up to be on Tuesdays unless something happens.
Yes, I think so. So, tune in next week. Otherwise, catch us on the podcast feed or the YouTube. Give us likes and subscribes. Give us the Twitch follows. Well, no, they're called subscribes too. Give us everything. Just give us everything.
Give us
I
the
want
shut
all
up
your stuff.
slugs. Let's do this.
Yeah, shut up slug time. Throw your Erastal horns. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.